Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ShortSalePowerHour.com. My name is Fred Weaver, and my partner Kevin Kauffman's behind the camera today, and we're with Group 4610, Arizona's premier short sale team. We have just an amazing guest here with us. I am so excited. What a huge privilege it is to have Mr. Brian Klemmer here with us today. For those of you that don't know, Brian Klemmer owns a personal growth and development company. You can check that company out at Klemmer.com, Klemmer. But I brought Brian on here today to talk with us. Now, I know you're just full of information, and we're cutting you down to under 10 minutes here today. That's like painful for you, I know. But do you mind sharing with us a little bit around sales? And you can start with your background if you'd like, and how you've got to where you are. You want to give people a background, that'd be great.
We'll do short on background.
Sure.
I went through West Point, the military academy. I got mentored by a guy and written 4 books, 5 actually. The 5th comes out in August. The last one, Compassionate Samurai, was #1 business book in 2008. Sales, where should we start on sales? I think the best thing to start off with sales is that it's not as important what you say as what's behind what you're saying. I wrote a book, my very first book was called If How-Tos Were Enough, Would All Be Skinny, Rich, and Happy. Most people want to be taught, teach me how to sell, teach me how to lose weight, teach me how to make money.
How to close that short sale?
That's it.
Yeah.
And that is important. It is important. But you could have a great words to say or the how-to, but if you don't have the intention behind it, then it's not going to work. We do a whole 3-hour process on something called intention, but for the moment, if you can imagine 200 people, I was just doing this in Hawaii night before last, 200 people on one side of the room, all going across a room with a different mechanism. One person walks, one person crawls, one person dances. Eventually somebody gets stuck. I'll pull a $100 bill out of my pocket and I'll say, I'll give you 30 seconds if you can come up with a mechanism nobody's done yet to get across the room. Just like that, the woman that was stuck got it. It seemed like the mechanism came out of the blue.
Amazing.
Amazing, right? And so I say if the intention is clear, a mechanism will appear. She had a strong enough intention, that $100 bill in that case, versus if she had an intent. I use intention not like what you'd want to do or what you intend to do or a goal. I use an intention as your deepest commitment. So if your deepest commitment is to get across the room, you're going to find a way. So if you're out there in short selling and maybe the mechanism that Fred and Kevin have given you isn't working, or one of the many mechanisms and strategies that they give you, the thing that you want to keep in mind is you got to have a high enough commitment or intention to serve that person, and then you'll find a mechanism. By the way, that also works if your intention is merely to put a commission and check in your pocket. The customer's going to feel that. You got to have an intention of truly serving them. So that's a short version of.
Wow, that was great. I appreciate that. Do you mind? I know maybe for our viewers at home, they may have a different context around the word intention.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing with them your definition of intention? Because when I heard you speak and do that example you just shared right there, probably 4 times before I heard it in a way that I connected to. Now I thought I got it, and it took maybe 4 times of hearing you speak and doing that and other people that train in your company before I got intention at a completely new level.
That's a great lesson or nugget in itself. You can learn something, certain kinds of things, and then learn at a deeper and deeper level. For example, with intention, I first got one understanding of it, and it served me well. I bought a house with no money. I got the whole United States Army to adjust their policy so I get time off and go to a seminar. I used it for certain things, but it took me 4 years to understand that intention was not determination. Then I was able to use it at a whole different level. I used it to raise $4 million and give it away to something I believe in when I had never raised that kind of money before, didn't know wealthy people, didn't make a lot of money, maybe made 100 grand at the time a year myself. So there's different levels of understanding. So intention, as I'm using it, is your deepest commitment. Your deepest commitment. So what happens, like in a meeting, and we have this formula, intention equals results. If you get a hold of If How-Tos Were Enough, Would All Be Skinny, Rich, and Happy through our website, Klemmer.com, or look at a free video or a free webinar that we have that you can see there. It'll explain it in more detail. But if you have a meeting and nothing gets done, you could, if they've experienced this concept, you could ask them at the end of the meeting, intention equals result. The result is nothing gets done. So obviously your intention wasn't to get something done. Doesn't mean you didn't want to get something done. You did, but your deepest commitment or intention was to something else. So you'll have people then, if they've worked on honesty, which is one of the traits of a compassionate samurai, they'll say, oh, my intention was to be in control of this meeting. Wow, well that's a very different commitment than getting something done, and that's why you didn't get something done. Or somebody will say, my intention was to not upset anybody's feelings, so I didn't bring this issue up that really was necessary to get something done. So you can have many different commitments, and most people, they aren't, if they're in sales, for example, many times their intention is to share information, not to close a sale. That's way different. So if your deepest commitment or intention is to share information, that's the result you'll get. If your deepest commitment is to set an appointment, then you'll actually get the appointment set.
I joke around with, we have sales agents that work with buyers on our team, and I love all of them. But once in a while I'll hear their language, and I used to do it as well. I'm going out to show houses. I say, well, you're going out to show houses or you're going out to sell a house? Because there's a different context behind showing houses and selling homes.
Absolutely.
And it's very, there's a very fine line there, but it's amazing when we stop and listen to our own language and really dive into what our deepest commitment is, and we get a hold of, it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad, but we all have deep commitments at a certain level that run our lives. When we become more aware of those things, it empowers us to be able to get the results we truly want in our life.
You might even try this out, not just with sales, but you can look at the next conversation you have, whether it's with a wife, a girlfriend, a child. Think before you speak. What's your intention? What's your deepest commitment in the upcoming conversation? Is it to be right about something? Is it to be in control of the other person? Is it to be comfortable? Is it to make something happen? So just thinking about the clarity of your intention will improve results in your life.
Well, Brian, I just want to thank you so much for being with us today. I hope all of you guys out there watch this video over and over, because hearing it one time, I can promise you there's some nuggets in here. I'm excited to go back and watch it as soon as we're done filming here.
And I want to compliment these two guys, Fred and Kevin. They took our seminars and they went out in the worst market for real estate in one of the worst states, Arizona, and are just kicking posterior. And to me, that's what and they're about people. They're about serving. They aren't just about themselves. And that is the epitome of a compassionate samurai. So thanks for being great examples, products of the product, so to speak.
Thank you. Well, Brian has never seen us end our episode, and we are in a fairly nice restaurant.
Hold on. Brian is one of the most outrageous people I've ever met in my life.
And we're at Izzy's in Corte Madera if you ever get up here.
Yeah, so we moved actually to a back room, so we're going to do it maybe a little bit quieter than we normally would, but we need to end this.
But we're still going to do it. You'll catch on, Brian.
So on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Short sale power hour. Short sale power hour.
Crush it.